Hey, what's up out there, everybody? I hope you're all having an awesome day. I want to thank you guys for stopping by the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Anthony DeGioia. This is the Silver Screen Analysis, and today I'm going to give you guys my review of the newest film from Mark Ruffalo. It's called Dark Waters. This movie, it's directed by Todd Haynes, and it follows this corporate defense attorney that aims to expose a massive chemical company's history of severe pollution. So let's get into what this based on true events drama delivers. Now, I got to admit, this movie sort of slipped in under the radar amongst the masses of titles closing out the year for Oscar consideration. The supporting cast, alongside Ruffalo, looked fantastic with names like Anne Hathaway, Tim Robbins, Bill Pullman, Victor Garber, and Bill Camp. The story itself seemed pretty interesting, with a plot that certainly is something which really impacts all of us, and the movie, for the most part, I would say, delivered on my expectations from what I saw from the trailers. I thought the story was pretty fascinating. It had a nice structure to it. There was some continual progression as well as Ruffalo's character dives into the history of this chemical company, but I gotta admit, at the same time, the story just felt like it was really fit into a model that we've seen done before. You have a character minding their own business, their approach from an outsider with an issue that at first isn't taken seriously. Of course, curiosity gets the better of this person. They decide to take a look. They uncover just layers of secrecy and wrongdoing. This character at first is sort of out on a limb with no one really believing in what they are uncovering until the inevitable realization to everything, and then the end credits roll. So there's no denying it has a familiar progression, but I think that with the performance from Ruffalo and just the layers of information that this story actually does unfold, that I think it was more than worth it. I was engaged, I was compelled from one scene to the next as Ruffalo's character discovers more about all the shady things this company had been doing for years and just the effects that it had on the environment, and even more so to humans and animals. I was, I guess you could say, really able to connect with the motivation that the main character had, and with all the risks involved, it really was inspiring to follow him in this story, even though it felt a little bit by the numbers. I thought the supporting cast all brought a lot of life to their characters. I think Bill Pullman and Tim Robbins left a really nice impression with some smaller characters. I would say simply because of their screen presence and how they deliver their dialogue. I think Anne Hathaway in this movie was a bit of a miss for me. I mean, she admittedly was given a very bland role with a character type we've seen done countless times. It doesn't really impact this story, but I think she tried to put a little bit too much juice into the portrayal at times. I mean, she felt like she was trying to command the screen in a few different scenes. I thought it came off a tad theatrical and overacted at times. And other than Ruffalo, I would say Bill Camp came in with a very subtly but emotionally powerful performance. I thought he brought just a ton of dramatic intensity that really just grabbed onto me. It made just Ruffalo's character's search for the truth that much more important. I think this connection just created a very unassuming tension that I thought brought a nice amount of energy to the entire film. I mean, each time his character is on screen, the real importance of this case grows, and it was nicely done to keep the viewer intrigued as to where things are going to go. As for the direction, cinematography, and just the visual appeal overall, I thought it was all serviceable. It was a little bit on the simplistic side. I think it did, though, work nicely to create a realistic vibe to the story and to the characters. The cold backdrops do build that moody atmosphere to the story, but at the same time, it kind of felt like it lacked some of its own life. I guess that certainly could have been the point. There definitely is no studio polish here, and for the subject matter, that's definitely a good thing, and I enjoyed this movie, so I'm going to give Dark Waters 80%. It was compelling. It did feel like it lacked something to kind of make it stand out on its own, but as it was, with the performances and the story layering delivering, this movie is certainly worth checking out if it appeals to you. Now for today's My Silver Screen recommendations, I'm going to be selecting some other similar movies, first being A Civil Action starring John Travolta about a contaminated water supply, as well as Michael Clayton starring George Clooney, also about a case involving a chemical company, and finally a film that I really enjoy called Runaway Jury, a solid movie that stars Gene Hackman, John Cusack, Rachel Weisz, and Dustin Hoffman that, if you haven't seen, I highly recommend. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.